Hello, CDA2. This is your week 4 explanation. We are moving on to competency 3, which is over social and emotional development. It's actually to support social and emotional development and to provide positive guidance. So we'll spend the next 2 weeks on this competency. We'll be diving in looking at functional areas 8 and 9. 8 looks at the self-development, and so knowing who you are, knowing your feelings, self-confidence, self-worth, all of that. And then we move into social, interacting with your peers and those around you. So you're going to be reading in the yellow and green competency books, in the Beatty book, and then we've got one resource collection item we'll be doing. Chapter 8 is going to be looking at building a positive self-concept. Knowing who you are as a person, what you like, what you don't like. We can go back to Freud and talk about infants think that they are an extension of their mother and they do a separation. And so kind of that whole idea of stranger danger, or they get real more upset. Freud would say that would be the beginning of a child really understanding that they are a separate entity from their parent. Then we're going to be looking at chapter 9. Promoting social skills. How do we talk about pro-social, sharing, helping, theory of mind, being able to take somebody else's perspective? How do you invite somebody to play? Sometimes we just think kids learn that through osmosis, when really kids have to be specifically taught, this is how you ask a friend to play, because up to this point, hitting my friend has always worked. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in guidance. And then you're going to be making a bibliography. And so what you're going to do is, this is supposed to be a list of resource books that you can have on 10 children's books. As you can see, I'm going to copy here 10 books that you've used with young children. You'll come into your document. See if this will paste for me. So I've pasted it in here, and I'm going to add topic in here because that's another component that you need to have. You'll go ahead and format these into, it's the summer, AP formatting. So you'll come in with the title of the book. So I might have, what's that called? A Story for Hippo, which is about a book about death where Hippo dies and the chameleon has to grieve over all of that. It's a really good book. But you may have some books now where we're going to be talking about gender identity. You can talk about books that have 2 moms or 2 dads, or you can talk about books that celebrate the cultures in your classroom. So even if you have Russian culture or African American culture, books that depict children with different needs, kids who are experiencing separation or divorce, death might be something. So these are going to be books that you may read at a special time, even if it's a new baby. How does somebody older deal with all of that? So this is supposed to be the literature that supports the social and emotional development of children. So like the Blue Day book, where it's strategies of, if you're being sad, it's okay to be sad, but what can you do to get yourself out of it? So that's another good book I like to read. Go Away, Big Scary Monster. Those different types of things where you talk about that. Incarcerated parents is another one. So think about the kids that are in your classroom and the struggles that they face, and what literature can you bring in the classroom to represent the friends that are in there, the families that they come from, and the situations that they're dealing with. So that's really what we're going to be looking for with this. Make sure a variety of topics are covered, and that's going to be your week 4 explanation. And this will take us through Friday, which will be July 3rd. And then we just have 1 week left. So I hope you're having a great summer.